Hey guys, this is a camera that's from quite a few years ago. It's a Fujifilm Finepix S2950, and I think you can see it here. The build quality is what I like about this camera, and for its time, it was a really good camera. But times change, and we all know that. Is this camera still relevant, or is it worth anything today? If you find it for a couple bucks, maybe if you have nothing else. Otherwise, it really cannot be compared to a lot of low-tier cameras of today that you can still find around, especially on eBay or whatnot. And I will show you here some footage taken with this camera, but before we jump to that, let me show you the features and what it has inside. These are the top, or what you call functions, which is with a wheel, with an auto camera, with video and all that good stuff. Right here is where you turn it off. It features a 14 megapixel sensor, supposedly. This is burst shot, this is autofocus, this is the shutter, zoom in and out. The lens is a mounted lens, which means it's not removable. It's 28 to 504 millimeter, 18 times optical zoom, plus minus the digital zoom. And this is how it looks from above. The batteries is the most interesting part of this camera, and the reason I wanted to even show you this on video. It takes AAA batteries, believe it or not. It has these batteries here. As you see, it has 4 of them that go in here, and the card would be just a regular SD card, whatever, not a micro, but SD. This one is an adapter, which functions on this one as well. And let me put the batteries back in. And let me tell you one thing about this camera. If you're getting excited that, oh, well, okay, I don't have anything else, so I'm going to go get this camera for quite a certain amount of dollars. Hold your horses. Let me tell you, this camera does not hold the battery for more than a few minutes. You have to keep that in mind. If you're shooting 1080p, which is the highest it has on this camera, you might go maybe 10-15 minutes if you're lucky. 720 or lower, it lasts a bit longer. Or if you're just taking pictures, then yes, you might be okay for maybe 30 minutes. But if you're filming, or especially if you do a continuous filming, this will be a 10-minute, 12-minute tops. And that is it. On the side, it features a mini HDMI port, which is only to view what's inside the camera. It does not do live shots. So let's say you want to connect it to a computer and film and watch it on the screen. That's not going to work for it. It has a USB right here. That's not mostly, but only to transfer files to your computer. And no, it does not work to be recognized by OBS Studio or whatever you're using in order to stream, because a lot of people would jump on it. You know, it's a cool camera to put on top and start streaming from it. It's not gonna do any of that, unfortunately, because it was not made for it when this camera was made. And here on the other side, you have the other function buttons that you can switch between the LCD and the eye view here with this button. Playback, focus, and all that cool stuff. Let's see if it turns on before we jump on anything else. The turn on button is this one here. You hold it, and there's a green light that should go on there. And as you see right there, this is the date that I'm not gonna set right now. Let me just skip it with the back button. And no card inside, obviously. And this is just a test that I'm doing here. And as you see, it's a little bit overblown on the light. You can play with the light a little bit, so it works. And now it's time to watch a little bit of a footage that I took from this camera and take a look for yourself what you think. And after seeing that, as you see, there is no stabilization on this camera at all. There's zero stabilization unless you have a gimbal. Yeah, maybe with a gimbal, but if you have that much money to buy a gimbal that will hold it and all that, you're kind of going far already. But beyond that, don't hold your hopes way too high. And just for a quick shot, let me show you how the sound is. And this portion of this video I recorded with this camera and the microphone that's integrated inside this camera. Take a look and a listen. And now this audio is coming from this camera while I'm walking. in the forest, so I don't know how good it's gonna be, so you guys tell me about it. And, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that great, so we'll see you in a minute. And after listening to that, as you see, it's not the worst. It's not the worst I have ever seen, definitely, but it's not the best either. So, this camera would be, if you really have nothing else and you want something just a little bit better than the tiny ones from the 2007-2010, this would probably do the job. Or if you just like to collect kind of rare cameras that don't exist anymore, this would be still a good one for the collection. But besides that, it really doesn't offer that much of a value depending on your use, and in my opinion, it's not worth it over 15 bucks. If you find it for 15 and under, probably it's okay just to have it. But over 15 bucks, I'm not sure what I would say about it. And besides that, I think we are done with this video. And yes, this was the Fujifilm Finepix S series. And with that said, we'll see you next time. Bye!